So, hi everybody, how are you doing? First thing I'd like to point out is that ice cold Coke Zero is fantastic in this kind of warm temperatures. I've got the window shut, obviously, because otherwise you'd be able to hear everything outside, and I need something to cool me down. I'm not sponsored, by the way, I wish I was. As is everybody who says that on YouTube. Nobody gets sponsored by Coca-Cola on YouTube. So today's video is about dating. There are a myriad of ways of dating or getting dates, especially in 2018. Years ago, when the way that you got a date was to go down to your local tea dance and you would dance with every single girl in the room, and eventually you would get somebody who likes you and they would let you know. Yeah? Not that you remember anybody watching this who went to a tea dance, including myself. I've never been to a tea dance, but I understand that this is the case. That was pretty much your way of courting and dating, or somebody you might know from school or some other place. Luckily, or maybe unluckily, depending on how you want to look at it, there are loads of ways of getting dates now. But do any of them really work? Well, we all know about going out to a bar or a club or socialising in some way and meeting people that way. Now, if you're going out with a group of friends and you like one of your friends, then that could work, yeah? If you're going out and trying to randomly pick up whoever you fancy, then it's less likely to work, really, isn't it? Although, are you actually going to get a kind of long-term partner out of it? Unlikely, I would say. You know, when you ask somebody at their wedding how they met, do they ever say, we met in a bar? So yeah, it's good for fun, and if you're into one-night stands, then maybe that's a good place to go. But I would say, yeah, long-term partners, not really your first choice, is it? Frankly, you're more likely to have a long-term partner out of a chance meeting of some sort. Now, this isn't really a good method, I would say. You're not really improving your numbers by this, but a chance meeting in, say, like the supermarket or, you know, out on the street. You've got to have a good reason to start talking to somebody. You can't just go up to them in a supermarket and say, you look nice. Well, you could, I suppose, I don't know. But it's unlikely, it's unusual for that to happen. So yeah, it could happen, but if you're actually using it as a method, give up. Just let it happen. So it being 2018, what do we use now? Yeah, online dating. Well, there's a few methods, obviously. You've got your traditional kind of sign up and put a profile on website, and there's a few market leaders, which I'm not going to go into, but what I find, at least what I've found in the past, is that it's not really a lot to do with your personality or your profile. It's more to do with, have you got half a dozen really good photos? What that really means is, have you got a friend who is good at taking photos of you? In my experience, and I'm straight, so you know, you don't get a lot of contacts off women on dating sites. Now, I didn't tend to message a whole bunch of women on these sites, and maybe that was my downfall, but I would say for every 20 women a man might message, they might get one response back. And conversely, for women looking for men, they would probably get 20 messages which they didn't want to read. For the younger generation, of course, we're more likely to use Tinder or Bumble or some other dating app like that, where, you know, you're swiping left and right. Now, apart from that being very much based on first impressions, you hear about people, both men and women, going on Tinder dates and Bumble dates all the time. And again, it's probably about how many good photos you've got and less about your profile or personality. In the first instance, at least. So, you know, if you've got those photos, then something like Tinder or Bumble, fantastic way of getting dates. Doesn't mean you're going to get any long-term relationships out of it, because you need that personality as well. Now, of course, if you are looking for lots of dates, you can do 20 in one evening by going speed dating. I've been once or twice to speed dating events, more to kind of work out what's going on. You have to go in with zero expectation, because it's 20 blind dates in a row, which is quite daunting, really. The good news is you don't have to do any of the hard work, like convince people to talk to you in the first place. The bad news is you've only got 3 minutes to get as much information out of them and have some sort of impression of whether you like somebody or not. Having said that, got to be better than Tinder, surely. In Tinder, you luckily, if you get 3 seconds attention from the person that on the other end of the phone. I don't know anybody who's got a long-term relationship out of speed dating, but you know, it can be quite fun, and perhaps that is the point. It should be seen as a bit of fun, a bit of an evening to have some fun and practice. If you're somebody who isn't very good at talking to who you fancy, then speed dating is fantastic because you are basically forced to do it, and you get to do it 20 times in a row. So by the 20th time, you should have it down, no problem at all. Unfortunately, so is everybody else. So, so even if you don't get any dates out of it, which, you know, I haven't yet, it's definitely a good way of practicing your 1 minute spiel. And everybody's got to have a 1 minute spiel, even if you've got a proper date. But last, and certainly not least, is, in my opinion, the premier way of getting a date and a long-term relationship out of it. And that is mutual friends matchmaking you. Now, by no means is this foolproof, but if you've got a friend who for some reason thinks that one of their friends will be very much suited to you, then that's great for a couple of reasons. Firstly, if they know you and they know this other person, they'll have some idea of what you both like. So that's a good start. Secondly, you've got something to talk about immediately, your mutual friend. And thirdly, and this is probably even more important, they've already cut through the rubbish in any kind of dating profile that you might have, because your friend actually knows you. The matchmaking that happens there is much more realistic and likely than whatever you've written in your dating profile. I can vouch for this method actually. I have had a couple of times where I've been match-made with somebody with a mutual friend of mine. Both times we went on and had a second date, which is pretty good, and yeah, both times there wasn't anything there, but you know, that's fine. You can't make love happen, it either happens or it doesn't happen, you know. So maybe you have a friend who thinks themselves a bit of a matchmaker. That's because they probably are without even knowing it. Then let them know that you're looking. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. You can do that just down below. Remember to subscribe because I make videos every single week. I wish you luck in your dating and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.